Brazil doesn't create footballers, it forges them. In the dusty suburbs of São Vicente, where the ocean breeze meets concrete, a boy was juggling a worn-out ball like it was made of silk. Neymar da Silva, Santos Jr., a name that would soon echo across continents. At age 13, he was already a phenomenon. At 17, a professional. At 21, a symbol. In Brazil, football isn't just a sport, it's faith. And Neymar wasn't just a player, he was a miracle people could touch. When he dribbled, the stands sang. When he smiled, an entire country believed again. His style wasn't learned, it was inherited. From street corners, beach sands, and samba beats. In those years, Neymar was pure, playful, wild, untamed. He wasn't chasing trophies, he was chasing joy. But when the world calls you a god too early, it doesn't let you be human again. And soon, the world began to call. Barcelona, the cathedral of modern football. Messi, the divine, Suarez, the beast, and Neymar, the prodigy. Three elements of chaos, somehow in perfect harmony. For a while, the world watched art in motion. MSN wasn't a team, it was a phenomenon. 3 languages, 1 instinct. When they attacked, time froze. Neymar was no longer the boy from Santos. He was now the chosen one, the one who could inherit the throne when Messi's light faded. But there's a cruel rule in football. When you play with gods, you're never remembered as one. Every celebration was Messi's, every assist, a footnote, every title, shared, but never equally. And that seed of frustration started to grow. Neymar wanted more than applause. He wanted authorship. To not just be in history, but to write it. He looked around the locker room, the world's greatest team, and felt invisible. And that feeling, that quiet, burning desire to be seen, was the beginning of everything that would follow. The summer of 2017, a single announcement shook the planet. 222 million euros, the biggest transfer in football history. Neymar left Barcelona, he left Messi, he left glory, to find himself. Paris welcomed him like a king. Billboards, cameras, headlines, but behind that spectacle, something fragile began to crack. He wasn't leaving for money, he was leaving for identity, for the right to fail on his own terms, for the freedom to become the Neymar. But freedom is heavy, and Paris was cold. The same journalist who called him a genius in Spain now called him greedy in France. Every touch, every fall, was judged with a microscope. He was no longer a wonder kid, he was an investment. And investors don't forgive mistakes. In Barcelona, he shared success. In Paris, he shared blame. And the very dream he had chased, to be the one, turned into the weight that started to crush him. Football is cruel. One wrong landing, and it takes everything. February 2018, a broken foot. The kind of injury that doesn't just crack bones, it cracks confidence. Neymar missed crucial months. World Cup preparations faded into therapy rooms. Still, Brazil waited for him, the savior, the chosen one, the one who would avenge 2014's humiliation. But destiny was unkind. Belgium ended Brazil's dream, and Neymar once again became the face of disappointment. Memes replaced applause. Every fall was mocked. Every tear turned into a punchline. And that hurt more than any tackle, because in a world that made him an icon, there was no room left for him to be human. At PSG, another storm was brewing. A teenager, faster and fresher, Kylian Mbappé, was stealing the headlines. Once again, Neymar found himself in someone else's shadow, but this time, he wasn't the smiling kid anymore. He was tired, defensive, haunted by expectations he could no longer meet. The fractures in his body healed, the ones in his soul didn't. By 2020, the world had changed. Stadiums were silent, fans locked at home, and Neymar, for the first time in his life, played without an audience. But the noise never stopped. It just moved online. Every picture, every post, every gesture became a headline. He was no longer judged for his game, but for his life. And in that transition, something precious was lost: joy. Once Neymar played with laughter. Now, every smile looked rehearsed. Once, he celebrated like a child. Now, every goal looked like a burden. In the World Cup of 2022, he tried one last time to heal that wound. He carried Brazil again, through injuries, pressure, criticism. And when he scored that beautiful solo goal against Croatia, it felt like redemption. But fate, as always, had other plans. Croatia equalized, Brazil lost, and Neymar collapsed in tears. That wasn't the cry of defeat. It was the cry of exhaustion, the kind that only comes when you've been strong for too long. He had carried too many dreams. Now, he could barely carry himself. The news came quietly. Neymar was leaving Europe, Al Hilal, Saudi Arabia, a move that shocked some but surprised few. For the critics, it was proof. He gave up. For Neymar, it was survival. After a decade under the brightest lights, he finally walked into the shadows by choice. But even there, the noise followed him. They said he chose money. They said he ran away. But they didn't understand. He wasn't running from something. He was running toward peace. The irony is painful. The boy who made football joyful had to leave football to find joy again. His body betrayed him again with new injuries. But this time, he didn't rush to come back. He watched games in silence, smiling faintly, as if he finally accepted that the world would move on. And that was okay. Talent is supposed to be a gift, but for some, it's a curse wrapped in applause. Neymar was born too early for peace, too late for myth. Between Messi's divinity and Ronaldo's discipline, he was the flawed genius, the imperfect beauty in a sport that demanded perfection. He didn't lack trophies. He lacked forgiveness, from fans, from media, from himself. When he was young, his freedom was celebrated. As he grew, that same freedom became a crime. He was told to play like a child, but act like a saint, to entertain, but never provoke, to win, but never fail. In the end, Neymar became what every artist fears: misunderstood. He was never just a footballer. He was a reflection of joy, of arrogance, of humanity itself. Maybe his story isn't about wasted potential. Maybe it's about the cost of being human in a world that only rewards machines. Because true genius isn't about how long you shine. It's about how deeply you burned. Talent can take you anywhere, but the world will only let you stay if you stop being yourself. And maybe that's the real price Neymar paid. Every story begins somewhere, and if it's honest enough, it ends there too. For Neymar, that place was Santos, the same club, the same colors, the same smell of sea salt and sweat. But the boy who left was not the man who came back. When he stepped onto that pitch again, time folded. The cheers were older now, softer, maybe wiser. There was no glitter, no headlines, no European noise, just a ball, a smile, and silence that felt like peace. He didn't come back to prove anything. He came back to remember who he was before the world told him who to be. Santos didn't need a savior. Neymar didn't need salvation. It was a truce between man and memory. The circle was complete. The boy who had been called a god returned as a human. And maybe, just maybe, that's what freedom really is. You can chase glory all your life, but the hardest thing you'll ever do is come home as yourself.